Jamie. If anybody wants to share their video, please feel free. I'm just kind of up here. So, my name is Jennifer. I'm a yoga teacher, sound healer, and this class is going to be about our nervous system, learning correct breathing to support our nervous system so that it's not bouncing back and forth. So our nervous system is made up of our electrical currents, and these are our masculine and our feminine energies. The masculine energy is like our accelerator, it's our excitation, and our feminine energy is our relaxation and our break. So you think about like a pulse has kind of an excitation and a rest, right? And we have this kind of vibration and rhythm going through every cell of our body. Our body is basically just a big mass of vibration. So learning how to manage that is important for our nervous system health. So our masculine feminine energy, the masculine side begins on the right at the base of the body, and the feminine begins on the left side at the base of the body, and they spiral around the spine. Where they intersect creates these energetic points, what we call chakras in yoga. And so this whole spiral pattern and all these chakras, they spin and vibrate at different frequencies, and when we get off balance, things can kind of get out of order, get a little bit chaotic in the body.
Recording in progress.
That can be harder to manage. And so learning how to get the correct breath is going to the main pump of the body. If we can get that situated and functioning properly, it's going to make it a lot easier to balance and equalize the nervous system. So we're going to learn a bit about that today and some different breath patterns to work with, little tools you can take home to help you come back to center, kind of get out of that chaotic state when the nervous system maybe gets a little bit too wild and so let's just start by finding a comfortable seat, and we're just going to tune into our body and our breath, and not really any judgment on what our breath is doing. We're just going to start to notice and bring our attention into the body. So let's take one hand and place it on the chest, and I'm going to take my other hand and place it at the base of the ribs here. And as you breathe in, just allow the base of the body to spread down towards the ground. Receive the breath up through the spine, branching out and spreading through the chest. Exhale, just let the breath soften and rest within the body. And breathing, trace the breath down the length of the spine, all the way to the tailbone. Exhale, let your body surrender, contract, and move that breath out. Maybe bringing the belly to the spine. Inhale and release, noticing the warm points beneath the palms. Maybe with the mind's eye, you can connect these 2 points of sensation and warmth. Maybe draw the breath between the hands. Give the breath color or light. Getting that sensation of the breath moving from one palm to the other. Don't worry about how it's moving on the inhale or the exhale, just letting each draw of the breath draw that line between the palms, cleansing that channel, bringing your attention into the center of the heart. We're going to take that bottom hand and place it at the lowest part of the belly. See if we can connect these 2 points under the palms now. As you inhale, lengthening through the belly. Just watching the breath light up the spine, the inner channel of the body. Exhale, let that light grow a little bit brighter, larger. Inhale, feel that line of connection between the palms. Let's take a few exhales through the mouth. We're going to inhale through the nose, sigh it out of the mouth. 2 more like that. Inhale. Last one. Inhale. Let the eyes open. You can relax the hands down into the lap. And let the eyelids soften. Just tune in to the sensation in your body. Notice what the hands remove. How is the breath moving now? So this breath we're going to learn, it's called box breathing, because it's kind of like a square, like a box. We're going to inhale to the count of 4. We're going to hold the inhale for 4 counts. Then we're going to exhale for the count of 4 and suspend the breath for the count of 4. And on the inhale, when we're retaining the breath, after we've taken our inhale and retaining that breath, we want to let that breath kind of soften and fall into the body. So sipping in as much breath as you can, then retaining it and letting it absorb into the cells of the body. Then we'll exhale, deplete the body. As we exhale, you want to lift up at the base of the body, bringing that belly button to your ribs, moving the organs in and up to really squeeze the breath out. And while we're holding the breath out, I just want you to feel into the silence of the body. Maybe you can even connect to the heartbeat. And just letting the hands relax down in the lap. And we're going to start to take our inhale, the count of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold at the top of the breath. Retain that energy. Let it move through the cells. Soften the shoulders. Soften the jaw. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. Holding the breath out. Feel that silence and stillness within the body. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Retain the breath. Relax through the chest. Lengthen through the belly. Let the breath fall down into the hips. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. Suspend the breath out. Lifting and engaging the base of the body, that pelvic bowl. Lifting it up towards the belly button towards the ribs. Knitting the chest and the ribs. Inhale, release. 2, 3, 4. Retain. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. Suspend. 2, 3, 4. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Retain the breath. 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. Suspend. 2, 3, 4. Last time. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Retain the breath. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. Now we're going to suspend for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale. Let your body breathe naturally. And notice that this maybe lengthen the breath. Maybe deepen the breath. This is kind of helping to contract and release those muscles so that the breath can move a little bit more easily through that subtle system, the subtle respiratory system, the intercostal muscles. So let's do a couple of stretches just to get into that side body and release the breath in the lungs. We're going to take the fingers and interlace the fingers, place them behind the head. We're just going to inhale and lift one elbow towards the ceiling. It's kind of getting a stretch in that side body into the intercostal muscles. You can move that elbow back and forward. It's taking deep breaths into the side body, into the right side of the ribs or left, whichever elbow is moving upward. Maybe a few sighs through the mouth. And lift the head up and over to the other side, stretching through the opposite side of the body. Really reaching up towards the ceiling with the elbow. Hips are heavy in your seat. Let's move this elbow back and forth. Just ushering out any tension that's released. Move it out on the breath. Good. Inhale, coming to center. We're just going to twist a little side to side, rotating through the torso. Feeling that stretch in the upper back and shoulders. Nice. And we'll bring the interlaced fingers, bring the palms towards the front. Just moving one elbow up and down at a time. And start to connect your breath with the movement of your muscles. Don't worry too much about the choreography. Just start to move your pace of movement with the pace of your breath. See if you can match these two. It's kind of a brain exercise. It also helps us slow down and be present in the moment. Trying to synchronize our movement and our breath. Shake that out of the arms. Start to roll the neck in one direction. Just drawing circles with the nose. Inhaling as the head comes back, exhaling as it comes towards the chin. Move in the opposite direction, reversing the circle. Inhaling, head tilts upward. Exhale, nose towards chest. Inhaling, nose towards the ceiling. Exhaling, nose towards the ground. Make those circles smaller and smaller with each rotation until your head comes to center. And we're just going to look over one shoulder. So bringing the nose over the shoulder, but let the eyes continue to move back behind you. And as the eyes are turning behind you, looking up and looking down, kind of trying to smooth out that arc with the eyes looking up and then down. And down. And up. And down. Back to center. Bring the head forward and over to the other side. So nose over the shoulder, but the eyes are going to continue their journey behind you. So you're trying to see someone behind you. And now, still looking back behind you, bring them up to the top corner, down towards the bottom corners, moving the eyes up and down. Helps to relax the optical nerves. Optical nerves are the brain stems, helping to release tension around the brain stem. The eyes come forward, nose center. Draw a couple of quarter-sized circles in one direction with the nose, and small circles in the opposite direction. Let's do a couple of shoulder shrugs. Just inhaling, squeezing the shoulders up towards the ears. Exhale with an audible release. Inhale, squeezing up. Exhale, release down. And now just squeeze the shoulders up, release through the hips, really ground down into the ground. Exhale down. Inhale, squeeze one last time. Take an extra sip of an inhale. Exhale, release. So we're going to close our eyes and we're going to come into this short meditation, learning to open the pelvic floor. So when we're babies, we breathe into our chest, this upper part of the body. We don't really worry about moving the diaphragm. And we don't really need to worry about moving a lot of that stuff. Our nervous system, we rely on our parents as children. So their ability to regulate their nervous system influences ours. We're kind of dependent on them, which is why we're called dependents. As we come into adulthood, we can take control of our nervous system, learn how to manage our nervous system so that we can care for ourselves. As children, we may start to create these, what I call armor within the body. It's kind of like a caterpillar creating that cocoon in order to become soft and mushy inside and reorganize into the butterfly. Because we're dependent on our parents' nervous system, we want to keep our insides protected. We still want to keep our unique vibration, our essence. So we create that kind of cocoon of the body. And then we can learn to break open from that cocoon, learning full body breathing so that we can regulate our nervous system, really fly. But sometimes we aren't taught these things, and our parents weren't taught these things, so we can still feel like we're bound and suffocated or restricted and limited in life. And so being able to free ourselves in the body and what that feels like, for some that may be a new feeling, and it may be uncomfortable and destabilizing at first. So it takes time to learn to care for ourselves, create those safe spaces, practice with them so we feel safe and comfortable in order for our nervous system to finally let that guard down. And so moving in from the chest breathing, we may learn belly breathing. I learned belly breathing in high school when I was having panic attacks, and I was having a hard time getting breath into my chest because I was so constricted and so tight and bound. So I learned belly breathing through the nose, drawing the breath in through the nose. When we breathe in the mouth, we have a large intake valve. When we start to breathe through the nose, and we get a smaller regulator so we can control our breath a little bit more, take it more deeply into the lungs. The problem with the belly breathing is that when the belly moves forward, it actually lifts up on our pelvic floor on the base of the body. We want to lengthen through the spine. We want to get oxygen into every inner surface of the body. So if we're starting to squeeze up at the base of the body, this creates tension at the base of the body. And at the base of the body houses our sacrum. And our sacrum, where our spinal column comes to the base of the body and spreads, the nerves spread out to our legs. This starts to get tight and contracted and dense. And so energy can't move very well through this dense area. So it gets kind of trapped in the spine, moving from the base of the body, kind of ping-ponging up and down, creating that instability, sending us into these states of toxic masculinity, toxic femininity, and that's anxiety and depression. So we're going to learn how to ground our energy, to release that base so that we can ground ourselves, so that we can harness our energy rather than it kind of bouncing around down the spine. And that bouncing around will throw us off balance. Learning how to breathe and retraining the body will help our body just have that self-regulation installed. So let's go ahead and close the eyes. So we want to move into the full body breathing into the shoulder girdle and into the hips. So as you inhale, you want to think about spreading through the chest, but also spreading through the hips. So you can think about blowing up a balloon in between the hip bones and flaring the buttocks. I'm letting everything release at the base of the body, and the spine drop down into the floor. And then exhale, you want to engage the pelvic floor muscles as if you could deflate that balloon that you blew up in the hips, move the air in and up and out of the body. And so when we're breathing, we have air pressure going on around our body. We're not really needing to force air in through the nostrils. We can just, air is coming into the body just by us relaxing the muscles and creating that vacuum space for it to move into. So rather than straining to take a breath, we can think about just extending and lengthening the pelvic floor down to create that vacuum space for the diaphragm to move downward and the lungs to inflate. And then exhale, lifting and engaging the base of the body, moving the air in and up and out. So go ahead and close the eyes. We're going to think about the ground beneath our base. Maybe rock a little side to side, feeling the sits bones, the weight of the body, and the support beneath you. Allow the space between the sit bones to open up in the ground as if there was a seed sprouting, breaking ground, and beginning to rise up through the trunk of the body. The seed sprouting and rooting downward, but also rising up through the trunk and branching out through the chest, shoulders and arms, even up through the head. And exhale, lifting in the roots, gathering the nutrients of the earth, spreading and dispersing it through the body as we compress the air out. Inhale, releasing the base, widening the hips, accepting the breath as the earth grows up through you, branching through the arms, the back, and shoulders. Exhale, lift and gather the nutrients of the earth, dispersing through the body. Inhale, release and open, widening the hips, widening the shoulders, lengthening the belly and the spine, tailbone pointing towards the center of the earth. Exhale, lift and gather that energy, move it in and up through the body, out into the world. Inhale, releasing the base, relaxing the toes, maybe even spreading through the fingers and the lungs as you inhale. Exhale, softly gather the energy, move it in and up the spine. Once more, allow the body to release and open at the base, grounding into the earth, breath rising up the spine, into the chest. Exhale, lift and gather that energy like a ball of light, moving it up the belly, into the ribs, through the chest, out of the head. Just feel the energy of life moving through the center of the body. You can imagine a beam or column of light growing from the earth through the body, lighting up the spine, moving out through the skull, like a fountain of light moving out of the crown of the head. Like you're an antenna taking in vibrations of the earth, transforming it through the body. Emitting this energy into the world. And let the eyes open softly. Wiggle the fingers. Maybe a couple circles with the head. Opposite direction. Roll the shoulders up and back. And forward. Let me shift the ribs side to side. We'll do a couple of seated cat-cows and we'll move into some Nadi Shodhana. So here's, you can also think of this as a pelvic rock. So you can go ahead and let the back arch and the chest comes forward as we inhale. You can place your hands on your knees or your lap. The chin may lift upward also. And then exhale, I'm going to start to tuck my tailbone and curl back into the C curve. My chin comes towards my chest. And I inhale, chest moves forward, just arching back. Tailbone moves behind me, shoulders move behind me as my sternum moves forward. And I think about it like shining a light ahead of me. And exhale, belly to spine. Let that initiate the movement back. Tailbone tucks towards the chin. Inhale forward. Just moving at your own pace here. You can move slow as you like. Feeling each vertebra stretching, lengthening in each direction. And taking the breath in between each disc of the spine like a cushion, helping to extend and lengthen the spine. Few more here. It's feeling in the body, noticing sensation. Inhaling the breath drip all the way down to the tail. Exhale, moving it from the base to the center, up through the crown. Let these movements soften, become smaller, until you find yourself coming back to center. You shifting side to side, making small circles in one direction or the other. Finding that plumb line of the spine where the hips can really root into the ground. And imagine you have a second pair of legs extending into the earth. Reach down to the soles of that extra pair of legs. Feel your spine growing upward. We're going to move into is Nadi Shodhana. This is alternate nostril breathing. It's going to help to integrate two sides of the brain, also the two sides of our nervous system. When the nervous system moves up, it crosses over as it gets into the brain here. And so the right side of the body is our masculine, but the left side of the brain is our masculine, the logical side, and then the left side of the body is the feminine. The right side of the brain is the feminine, the more abstract and creative. We're just going to integrate these two, bring harmony to these two sides of the body, these different quadrants of the body. And as we're breathing into we're going to block off one nostril. There's different ways that you can do this. You can either place your finger and just close that valve by moving the flap closed. Sometimes that may give you stuffiness after releasing it. But I like to just place my finger over and just kind of block the hole. Whichever you choose is fine. And so as we breathe into each side, I want you to focus on breathing it all the way down into the base of the body. You can even draw down just the side of the pelvic floor that we're breathing into and kind of getting to connect to those sensations. Becoming more familiar with the base of our body. So finding our comfortable seated position. We can all be sitting in a chair, and we don't need to be on the floor here. I do have my legs crossed, but that is not necessary. You can have the legs out in front of you, propped up on a cushion, whatever is comfortable. You could even practice this lying down if you like. I'm going to find our position, and I'm going to take my finger, place it over my right nostril. I'm going to inhale through my left nostril. I'm drawing it all the way down the left side of the body. And at the top of my inhale, I'm going to close off my left nostril, open my right. And I'm going to exhale through the right side. Now I'm going to inhale through the right side. Drawing it down the right side of the body into the ground. Close off the right and exhale through the left. Inhale through the left. And exhale to the right. Inhaling through the right, left nostrils closed off. Drawing that breath into the right side of the pelvic floor. Exhale to the left. Inhaling through the left nostril. Switching the block and exhaling through the right. Inhaling through the right nostril. Drawing it down into the right side of the pelvic floor. Switching the block to the right, exhaling through the left. Inhaling through the left. Closing off the left and exhaling through the right. Release the hand down. So this one where I'm moving it back and forth, inhaling and exhaling through each individual side, this kind of helps us regulate and equalize. If I felt maybe overstimulated and I wanted to really calm down, I may inhale only through the left side and exhale through the right. And if I'm feeling sluggish, then I might inhale through the right side and exhale through the left. So inhaling through the left side is inhaling through my feminine, and that's going to help relax me. It's my break. If I want to energize the body, I will use my right side, which is my accelerator, my heat, the masculine side. So since it's nighttime, let's practice a little bit with the lunar side, our feminine left side. So we're going to inhale only through the left side, but then we're going to exhale through the right, and then we're going to inhale only through the left, exhale through the right. So we're going to switch it over every movement. So let's block off that right nostril. We're going to inhale through the left. Deepest breath you can, all the way down the spine. Maybe take an extra sip in. And then block off the left nostril. We're going to exhale through the right. Bringing that belly to spine, lifting up on the pelvic floor to move the breath out. Switch that block and inhale through the left. Switching again, we're going to exhale right. Getting that full exhale. Switch it again, inhale through the left. Switch it again, exhale right. Switching and inhale left. Switch again, exhale right. I'm going to bring the finger blocking the right nostril. We're going to inhale through the left. Exhale through pursed lips as if you're blowing through a straw. Inhale through the left. Exhale through the straw. Inhale through the nostril. Exhale through the lips. Remove the block. Inhale through both nostrils. Exhale, blow through the lips. Inhale, feel the coolness of the air moving in through both nostrils. Exhale, feel the coolness leaving between the lips. let's release with some ahs or some forced breath. Inhale through the nose. Audible release. Inhaling through the nose. Release through the mouth. Big breath in. Down to the toes. Let it all go. Let the breath return to normal. Release any control of the breath. Just watch it move through the body. Take a swallow to relax the throat and the jaw. Let your eyes roll around behind the lids, drawing circles with the eyes. And circling the other way. And blink the eyelids open. All right. I want to check in and see how everybody's doing. I'll wait for maybe the last 15 minutes. We'll gather and check in, and then we'll get to a ending meditation. I'll go into another breath that I like. This is starting to create sound in the body. Oh, here we go. Hey, Jamie.
Oh, no, I know. I was like, it's not working. No, I wanted to check. I really like the breath work. I did know that about, I've been learning to breathe through my nose more.
Mm-hmm.
But that was really cool, like how I really felt it, like how to go more back into the spine, into the pelvic floor, and that the balloon deflating was really good. I really felt that, and that I was like, ooh, I feel that power a little bit.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool.
Yeah. We can start to engage in it, because when we're taking breath in, we're not really, if I'm breathing into my belly, I'm not putting air into my belly, right? I'm just moving my organs, unless I have a punctured lung as I inhale, air is only going into the lung sac, right? So air's not going anywhere else. That's just me displacing muscle, fluid, mass of the body. And so when I can learn to just let the body relax fully and create that space for the breath to move in, rather than straining to breathe, it makes it a lot easier for the body to, start to surrender to the breath and let that move us, rather than always trying to, force ourselves or having to have that burden of controlling it, right?
Yeah, and I felt that, because at first I did felt like I'm very much pulling and forcing this breath into my lungs, and then when you kind of redirected it to be like, just feel it. It's everywhere. The air pressure. You don't
just
need
let
to
it in. Yeah, relax.
And like naturally shifted my breath to more of the back to be a gentler breath and an easier pull down.
Oh, I love that. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's good for your spine too, where all our nerves are. They need some oxygen.
Yes, they do.
And it's not that our breath is moving down there, but because our muscles are relaxing and allowing, that energy to flow, and the nerve channels to not be so compressed, so that we're, when they're really compressed, then that's when we become reactive to things, and we're very triggered. So we're very tightly bound, and our nerves can't communicate, and it can't flow well. So, our body wants to take care of ourselves, so it's going to be like, that kind of way. Because it wants to get it done, but it's trying to do its best in the condition and the state that the body's in, right?
And so this is a way where we can become, like, have more control and say, hey body, you know what you're trying to do, you're tensing up, you're stressed out, you want to get out, you want to get something accomplished, you're not going to do it well this way. Let's open it up a little. Yeah.
I kind of think about it like Laffy, like saltwater taffy. When you try to pull it apart, it's like, and it's real stiff, but if you like ease into it, then it starts to like let go, right? So it's kind of noticing when the body does that, and reparenting ourselves and saying, it's okay, I'm safe right now, in this moment I am safe, remembering that. Because we learn from our traumas, and that helps, because life jerks us around, and so the body doesn't want to be pulled apart, so it's going to contain itself, right? It kind of goes into that state, like, oh, don't pull me apart, I'm keeping myself protected. We have to remind ourselves, any mental tension or threat that comes through, our body's going to interpret it as a physical threat. So it starts to do that. And when the body starts to do that, it's when it starts to clamp down on our nerves, makes us reactive, makes it really hard to like ease into our body. So it's that reparenting, like, I'm okay, you've been through the worst is over, like, you're gonna get through this, in this moment, I'm okay. And then moment by moment, we start to build that trust with our body so that we can receive the breath, we can receive life again, we can receive ease and peace and, all those things. But when we're straining, straining to get that peace, it's hard to do that. And I tell people, we're so used to intensity being associated with trauma and negativity. And so we learn how to guard ourselves. And that's helpful in life, but love and excitement and joy, these are also very intense energies. And our body can get confused and translate that as fear and trauma and react in those ways that it's more conditioned to. So we have to give ourselves another option, saying, okay, I can learn to open into this. I am safe. And so, it's important to allow those nerves to unbound and ungrip and release and start to feel into life. Because now that we can take control of our life and create our environment and decide how we perceive things, and we're no longer being told how to feel, then we can create a whole new landscape that we never even knew was possible, right? Because it wasn't colored for us in that light in the past. But we can, take that on and change it. But it takes time for our bodies to say, okay, I can move there, because it's so used to being in one state and it wants to take care of you. So just learning to be compassionate with ourselves. And, a snake doesn't shed its skin and it's raw underneath. There's stuff going on as the skin is starting to molt away, right? So you're growing as it's, you may notice those things kind of still reacting. It's okay. It's okay. They're starting to move out, but just noticing them and being okay with that and thanking them for keeping you safe and getting to where you got to. You didn't get pulled apart, because sometimes it is a physical threat too,
Yeah. I really like the reparenting idea, like the connection of, you can parent your own nervous system. Mm-hmm. This is nothing I've ever thought about before.
Yeah.
But it makes so much sense in the context that you're putting it in, where it's like, okay, I'm okay. Mm-hmm. I can be in control now. Mm-hmm. I can take over.
Yeah, and tuning into those moments and noticing, am I bracing? Am I not allowing myself enough breath? If we're not getting enough oxygen, then those nerves can't communicate well. They are kind of in that tight bound reactive state. And so that keeps us in hypervigilant survival mode, right? And that mode can get very exhausting. It could be very painful on the body. So just having, being able to say, I don't need to be in this state all the time. It's necessary in maybe certain moments. My body knows how to go there. I'm glad I do, but I don't need to be there at every moment of the day. And I can check in with myself and see if my body's, just trying to keep up and keep that state. And I say, no, I don't need it right now. Thank you, but not at this moment, right?
And you gave me a lot to think about. Yes, that I'm sure everybody. Yes, I love that. Like looking at trauma, or what we perceive as trauma, too, because we've been through trauma. Mm-hmm. How we have those conditioned responses, and the first thing that we can do is soften our muscles to get ourselves talking again, get our inner world stabilized. Mm-hmm.
For your own peace and letting
so
the
that's
body
good
go.
to know. Like, you don't have to walk through some crazy therapeutic mode to learn how to calm yourself down. Mm-hmm. You can just breathe into it. And create new safe space on your own terms.
And I could think, we're in this body of elements, water and, air and fire and earth, right? Creating our body. So we're like, excuse me, we're like wearing earth, we are walking pieces of earth, and we can learn how to, heal the earth by healing our body. Right, allowing the earth to remember how it can soften and enjoy life, through us. And so, helping, if we can't do it for ourselves, do it for the world. Do it for Mother Earth, who's suffering and having to deal with all this stuff. So this little piece of you, I'm going to take care of, right? And make sure you're happy and comfortable.
Awesome. All right, I'm going to mute and go away and let you finish.
Okay, cool. So let's take a moment. We're going to do what I call bee's breath. We're going to create some vibration in the body. Vibration is great for massaging those nerve cells, helping them relax and release, so we can let that tension, that heaviness of contraction and bracing go. And this one's great because it also vibrates through the forehead. It's going to help relax the brain. If you ever have a headache, this is really great. Or your nervous system is just getting amped up and you just need to zone in. So it's going to sound like this. I'm going to inhale through the nose, and I'm just going to create a buzz sound as I exhale. It can be like a hum through the bridge of the nose, or you can vibrate the mouth. You can go back and forth between the two, just creating that vibration in the skull and the face, maybe even feeling it moving through the skeletal structure of the body. So inhaling through the nose. You can play with different sounds in the mouth. Just inhaling when you need to. Exhaling, creating that soft hum. It doesn't have to be as loud as me. Or you can be really strong, and we want to feel it kind of in that bridge of the nose, if you can send it to the nose. Feel it radiating through the cheekbones and the forehead, into the throat and the neck muscles. Maybe even into the shoulders and the collarbone. This is a lot cooler in a live group because we have everybody's kind of the hive going. A little different alone. One of the fun things about yoga, though, is finding the weird things or the things that feel uncomfortable and being able to laugh at ourselves, bring that lightness to a heavy situation or something that might have triggered us in the past. Just remembering this is your life, this is your time, this is your space to take up. And let each buzz get a little softer. Just gradually softening the sound. Feeling the sound more subtly moving through the body. Letting the buzzing relax, keeping the eyes closed. And I tune into that sensation of the ground opening beneath us. Feeling the vast potential rising through us. Breath lighting up the inner channel, the trunk of the body. Spreading through the nerves, the arms and shoulders. Exhale, lift and gather that energy, raise it up towards the sky. Inhale, open, release, and receive. With the structure of the trunk, siphoning the breath up towards the chest as you blossom under the collarbone, widening through the shoulders, and exhale, move that light in and up, out of the body. Inhale, open, receive, spread into the earth. Exhale, lift, gather, send. Feel into the spaciousness of the chest. Maybe even tune into the pulse of your heart. Visualize the heart pulsing at the center of the chest, pulsations radiating to the ribs, vibrating the armpits, the upper back, and shoulders. This pulse moving through the forearms, the upper arms and elbow. Moving your awareness into the palms of the hands. Maybe sensing the pulse in the tips of the fingers. Bring your mind's eye deep into the belly. Soften the base of the body. You can find the pulse of the heart dripping deep into the navel center. Radiating through the bones of the hips. Vibration moving through the bones of the legs, knees, ankles, tuning into the soles of the feet. You sense the pulse within the soles of the feet, the tips of the toes. Bring your awareness to the inside of the mouth. You sense your pulse within the roof of the mouth, the hollow space of the mouth. Pulse radiating through the bed of the tongue. Teeth, the lips. You sense the pulse in the hollow of the throat. The inner ears. And the space between the eyes. Take a deep breath into the heart. Let it expand into the light of the breath. Exhale softly. Bring the palms together. We're going to rub the palms, creating some warmth and friction in the hands. Breathe into the sensation. Place the palms over the chest. Feel the warmth of the hands over the heart. Let your chest soften into the warmth of the palms. As you breathe in, spread into the warmth of the hands. Exhale, soften and surrender. And we'll end our practice here taking a breath together. Let's inhale. Exhale fully. And I want to thank you for taking the time to connect your body and breath. Every time we release tension from our body, we're releasing a measure of tension from the entire world, making it a lighter and brighter space. I thank you for your practice. Om Shanti. Om Shanti means peace. Peace to you. Usually the reply could be mirroring it, Shanti Om, or you can Om Shanti me back. Thank you all very much.
Thank you. That was really awesome.
Yay.
Next time, do you want more interaction?
I'm okay with interaction if people are comfortable with it.
That's all it was. Yeah, it was one. So it's kind of so next time, I'll definitely the option for videos.
Yeah, they're welcome to join in, or if they're not comfortable, or don't want to be on screen, I'm totally fine with you closing it off. I'm not offended, but if you want to join in, you're totally welcome to.
Yeah, I think that would be helpful. I wasn't I just went in very conservatively.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah.
But that John, that was really. Thank you so much. This is exactly what I wanted, and I wanted people to have, and your knowledge of healing and just healing of the body is, you're a grad school course.
I've been through so many different stages, different types of illnesses and traumas. So, I've got an encyclopedia of having healed those things myself to a point of, acceptable, I'm good. we can always grow from there, but that's the thing, once we can get all that kind of evened out, it's amazing where we can go with the body.
It's awesome. Marissa says more interaction. The nostril breathing will really help me open up my spine when panicked. Thank you.
Yeah. Been there, girl. I know. Yeah. So I'm bringing things that I know have helped me. I've dealt with severe anxiety in my life, depression, eating disorders, suicidal issues, and the way I've seen my life open up to be able to, bring this to others is so important. It's not just yoga fad. This is really how to, know our bodies. And there's a natural flow to things. And so learning how to step into that flow, and we've been taught kind of the reverse for so long, and working against that, and people finding that own body autonomy and that authority for themselves is so important, because I know people are really good at heart and want to be happy and loved, and so if I can help them give themselves that's
free themselves.
Yeah, I owe it to the energies that gave it to me. So I want everybody
recording
to
stopped.
have that.
Well, yeah, we're gonna. Okay. I don't know if I can do. All right. I'm gonna get back to you in just a second. I'm gonna try and end this for everybody else.
Thank you, everybody, for coming. Hope to see y'all again.
I know. Thank you, everyone. All right.
Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you.
Yes. All right. This is beyond. You know what? We'll just call you in like 2 minutes.
Okay.
Okay.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.